The Boston Bruins are one game away from taking the first round from the Toronto Maple Leafs in another game where we've seen complete domination for the most part from this Boston Bruins team. The Maple Leafs are starting to get exposed from themselves and fans and critics alike. This team's absolutely falling apart. So I'm going to be talking about the game here in this video, as well as a new major change that the Boston Bruins may choose to run with for at least the rest of this round, and as well as just what's happening with this Maple Leafs team. But before we get into all of this news here, we know that 81% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Join me along here as we hopefully look to head to round 2 on Tuesday. And I'll put it here for now. I likely will be streaming before next game. I still am yet to confirm it, but I will let you guys know in a community post. I'll have a live stream scheduled ahead of the game if I am. But without any further ado, let's get straight into this one here. And the Bruins have put the Leafs on the brink of elimination after last night's game. Now, there was also some help from some Toronto Maple Leafs players once again. Ryan Reeves completely giving the first goal away, but we'll take it. We can take whatever we can get and make this series easier for us. But I'll put up the box score here, and as you can see, we know Brad Marchand. He has been such an incredible player here in this series. It's almost hard to find the words to describe how good he's been. 8 points in 4 games so far, and he's really looking to take this series home. And he's got this team on his back. Let's straight be honest with us. You know, he is really taking this team to the promised land and where they want to go. And as well, we can't forget to mention Jeremy Swayman. Been another incredible game from him so far in this series. And adding up his total for how he's done against the Toronto Maple Leafs this season. But once again, just been a fantastic game from everybody here. Once again, you know, there's no criticism I'm willing to give to anybody here on this team, and rightfully so. I am not a coach, but from the viewer standpoint and from the eye of a fan, I'm really happy to see how this Boston team played out their games in Toronto this far. But I'll pull up the score chart as well. You know, I like to put this up. Kind of shows a good visualization for those who didn't get to see the game. And as you can see, a lot of positive on the on-ice offense and on-ice defense, which is really exactly what the Bruins needed to do here in this game. And we've seen, because of how they've been playing, the Maple Leafs have just been falling apart on the bench, on the ice, morally, physically, mentally. You know, there's nothing that this team has been able to do that is making the Bruins scared, you know? You know what I'm trying to say. They haven't really found a way to make the Bruins scared in any scenario thus far in this series. Apart from Game 2, where they had a little bit of a scare going 1-1 in the series, but since then, this Bruins team, led by Brad Marchand and Jeremy Swayman, has got this team locked and ready to go for any situation. But I'll pull up this stat chart one more time again here. Really big bounce back game from Charlie McAvoy. That's one we had hoped for in this series so far. We hadn't really seen it being that guy on the ice. You know, that's what Charlie McAvoy was there for, and he had a fantastic game here tonight. David Pastrnak, James Van Riemsdyk as well, rightfully earning his spot in this lineup, as well as just a whole bunch of positives. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. We know how good this was, but this game revealed a lot of stuff of what could be going forward for the Boston Bruins here in this series and potentially heading into the next if they do end up winning this one at any point over the next few games. And that is a major change that could be going to the goalie rotation. Is it over? From what we're seeing right now, it looks like Jeremy Swayman will be starting next game again, and that will be having him start 3 games in a row, which, off the top of my head, I'm not sure if they've done this season, at least before the goalie rotation went 29 games in a row earlier this season. So this is going to be a pretty big one. This here comes from an Athletic article, and it says, Jeremy Swayman making a second straight start, stopped 24 shots. For now, the team's season-long goalie rotation appears to be over. Linus Ullmark projects to back up Swayman for the 3rd straight time as the Bruins look to end this series at TD Gardens. And this is going to be the perfect spot to do it if they do. This home ice advantage is going to be a real big thing, especially heading into this game where the Maple Leafs really are off their game. That's really the best way to put it, is they're not on their game at all right now. They're getting mad at each other on the bench. They're started talking trash to each other and just not being able to work as a unit. So it really is a good tell that the Bruins are in there in the heads of the Maple Leafs. So I do have a bit of a continuation from that, a different article, but on that goalie rotation situation here is from Scott McLaughlin, and it says Montgomery not naming his Game 5 goalie, unsurprisingly, but from what we know from Fluto Shinzawa, The Athletic, their sources, it seems like we know that it will be third game in a row for Jeremy Swayman. But I also just want to talk about the bottom of this here. Forbort was taking warm-ups last game just to get him back into game rhythm. Wasn't in yet. Does not mean he's going to be in for next game, but it's good to see that he's getting in this game rotation, preparation once again, just in case we have any more injuries. But let me know what you think about the goaltending rotation. Do you think that they started up in round 2? I think that might be my guess, but right now, how good Jeremy Swayman has been playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs, you really can't blame Jim Montgomery for choosing him for this game. And even if it was Allmark, I would still have the confidence. But right now, Jeremy Swayman is in this Maple Leafs head too much. And I think right now that is the decision to make. But once again, let me know what you think. It's a really big move that they have chose to make here, if this is in fact going to be the change that they do decide to go with. But one final topic here in this video is the Bruins are just completely exposing the Maple Leafs. And I'm sure just about everybody watching this video knows what's going on in this whole scenario, knows the whole thing, especially coming from last game, what's happened. And there's been a lot of critics, a lot of reporters, analysts, and everything just discussing what's going on with this team. And I have one here from Joe Haggerty, based on Sheldon Keefe's post-game interview following the game from the TSN. He says, "Nothing to see here, folks. Effort was great. We blocked 5 shots. They just blocked, they blocked 26. Just max effort all over the ice with guys selling out for everything and then berating each other on the bench. Good times in Toronto." And that goes in response to what Sheldon Keefe was saying, that the Maple Leafs were giving their full effort this game. He said he seen nothing wrong with it. It just goes to continue to show how lost Sheldon Keefe is as a coach. I'm not a coach for a reason. I can't put any blame on anybody in specific, but from a viewer standpoint, from an analyst standpoint, from a critic standpoint, from everything we've seen, not one person has agreed with Sheldon Keefe in this, is not helping him, not putting any credit towards him, and rightfully so. But from what we're seeing as well, this whole scheme from going from the coach, the GM, to the president, to whatnot for this Maple Leafs team, we're seeing that a lot of them might just get fired after the season, depending on what happens here. Sheldon Keefe definitely needs to be a starting point in this, as he's not, holding the players accountable. He's not stopping the players going at each other, and it's really just a mess over there. That's why I think there's a very good chance we do see a Boston win next game at TD Gardens. But one final update here as well from 660, former host of Tim and Sid, or now on Daily Tale, I don't know, something in Toronto, but he goes, "I can name 10 people at least, both on and off the ice, that should not be with the Maple Leafs next season." Sheldon Keefe is near the top of the list. These post-game comments last night, on their own, are a fireable offense, and, that just goes to show that video that Joe Haggerty was replying to as well, that Sheldon Keefe don't got a clue what he's doing. And I know Sid60 he's a critic, he don't mind sharing his thoughts, but from a guy who's in Toronto, a Toronto Maple Leafs coverage, fan, whatever you want to call him, it just goes to show how wide the margin of people just ripping on him are, and rightfully so. It's really the Bruins' fault that this whole thing is happening to the Maple Leafs, but, we're moving on, or so far. I don't want to jinx anything, but we have the best opportunity to move on here in this series as of right now. Best way to say it without jinxing anything, but it's looking good. And if this does continue for the Maple Leafs, you can thank the Bruins for having an entire new staff for that Maple Leafs team. But that's all I got here in this video. Let me know what you think about the goalie rotation. Really the interesting one here I want your guys' opinion on. I know we've been speaking about it a lot, but this really is the winning segment for the Bruins here in this first round. So it's going to be a really interesting piece to see what they choose to do. But like I said, that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to give the video a like. Hit the sub button as well. If you do want to stay up to date with all of your Boston Bruins news, I'll have it here for you guys as quick as possible. But like I said, I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.